Okay, and we're back. We have talked about what skills do our students need, which was our first big question. Then our next one was, what does this text do well? Then our third question is, what would I steal from it personally? And in our example, we talked about our students need evidence. And so we looked at evidence and how we would pull that into our modeled writing for our students. And then my personal thing that I would have pulled from it was that anecdotal introduction that had the universal appeal. So I tried to pull some anecdotal piece into my writing that would help with those facts and make it more interesting. The last piece, the last question is what I like to call my catch-all question. What other skill or style would I like my students to steal from this text? That text did structure well. That text has a pretty good closing sentence. That essay had a couple of other things that we noticed. You may have noticed some other things. You've spent that much time in the text on the main lesson of reading it and breaking it down. You spent that much time on the text looking at, we're stealing the evidence writing move. The kids have it in their mind. And there are other pieces that you can use it for. Now, should you use that text every time? No, because it's going to be boring if we go look at it on a third day and now we're talking about structure. But if you're in a small group that doesn't understand how to structure their essays and you want to pull multiple examples of essays to structure, here's a mentor text. I've noted how we structured. Remember, we annotated a little bit on that day. We talked about transitions. You could talk about transitions with this essay, the flow of it. You could pick any of those things. And so as you do that, be thinking of mark up each one in your own copy, like whether you keep a digital copy with all your different files in your Google Drive and label one evidence and another one anecdotal evidence and another, or how about subfolders of evidence, empirical, anecdotal, all of those. This one falls in empirical, but maybe anecdotal introduction that has universal appeal is a thing. But you start to aggregate by styles. I keep text filed under evidence. I keep text filed under these different things. And then when you need something, you have it to go get. You guys have any thoughts on that, on how you might organize or how you might return to a text to use it as a mentor text in another time?
I would hold on to it, especially if it's a text that the kids responded to during reading. I think that really helps to hold on to it when I have to go back and reteach a skill. But yeah, just being able to go back and say, look, we've already read this, as opposed to having to read something else totally new. I think that's where the value of this will be gained.
Right. And it can piggyback, like, hey, we taught evidence with this one, and I taught transitions with another piece, but that piece also has good evidence in it. And so when I have to go back and review evidence with my kids, I now have two texts that review evidence with, we don't have to cold read them. And I don't have to annotate them as much as I did the first time. All right. Well, that concludes the section on looking at text and stealing the style. I hope it's helpful. I hope it's something you're willing to try. I really recommend, especially if you've been shy about sharing your writing with your students, demystify writing for them, please, and let them look at and think about text as a writer. Thinking about why and how the writer did that goes back to all those author's purpose questions that come up in the reading as well. So you're reinforcing everything that you did before, and now it's like when the next time they read for author's purpose, they may already start to naturally think about ooh, I would like to steal that style. So thanks.